I've been watching the UFC for years, and that was the best dust-up I've ever seen.
Yeah! Hello, mates. So welcome to Not For Radio. We are your hosts, Duncan Hyde, Jay Reeve. Caution, this podcast will contain some swearing. And a couple of things, a little bit of housekeeping, a bit of an update on the situation with Apple for international subscribers. If you're on Spotify and listening to this, welcome. We appreciate you. This is a Sniper Elite episode that you normally have to subscribe for. You can do that if you haven't done that through wherever you get your podcasts. You end up doing it through Rover in the background. For the price of a beer a month, you can support us. Share an episode with a mate. Got any other mates that are crooked into these outrageous yarns? And then the other piece of housekeeping was the fact that our newfound sunglasses, our collab Not For Radio ones, are now live. There's a link in the show description, so if you check that out, you'll be able to purchase, and they'll be going out very soon. Jay's going to give us a bit of an update on numbers at the end of the potty as well.
They have landed and they are shipping on the pod today. Assisted dying. And would you for 10 mil?
Also, my mate Wayno, who's doing it tough at the moment, real leveler, and what he's going through, and just a good indication of how you can, if he can operate the way he is at the moment, I think everyone can probably be a little bit better.
Neil deGrasse Tyson on The Matrix with Morpheus himself.
Also, your mate doing chin-ups against a Hollywood action star.
Yeah.
And fucking going pretty good too.
And a absolutely cracking war story straight out the gate on how a bloke almost got destroyed in a kid's playground.
Enjoy the podcast.
You're listening to Not For Radio with Jay and Dunc. This is a pro-cat show. These boys, they love a bit of pussy.
Do your best, see if you get out, do it. Send one through, use the link in the show notes. Right, let's start with a war story, Jay.
Yes, this one here is from Davidos in Melbourne. Kids are dicks. Fucking hooroo there, fellas and fellettes. Been listening to the bulk of NFR and Spotify while driving around for work and love the show. I thought I'd drop in a yarn of my own for your pleasure about the day my daughter nearly killed me at a play centre. Bit of a long one, but I hope it gives you a bit of a chuckle. I thought I'd read it for a second.
Oh.
As a lifelong martial artist, my spare time away from work usually consisted of either training or spending quality family time with my little darling girl, watching fights and sinking cans of piss. I had a day off work when she was about 5 years old, and after a morning of trying to keep up with a firstborn fuck trophy, I was completely fucked and thought I'd take her to a play centre to try and flatten her batteries.
They need it. You know, they need to do kids' hamster wheels.
Yeah. Another $1 million idea. Just cast out there for free.
Yeah.
Off we went to the nearby kiddie funhouse where I ordered a shitful coffee and a bowl of cold chips. My daughter, let's call her Jordan because that's her fucking name.
I didn't feel like saying that for some reason.
Hit the ground running and launched herself full noise at the equipment. Looking around the room, all I could see was middle-aged ladies paying zero attention to their little rugrats, also sipping shitful coffee and having a grand old time catching up with their friends. The fucking noise in that place was off the charts. Fuck me. If it didn't sound like every kid in the joint was screaming through a fucking megaphone.
Why do they put noise-proofing around, soundproofing
Ortex,
around
motherfuckers.
Get
Do
it.
you understand it?
Yeah, even just in the parents area.
Yeah. I looked out to see that my little cherub was up to and noticed her bouncing away happily on the jumping castle. This castle was a bit different to the usual ones, ones you see, as it only had two walls in an L shape. As I looked on, I noticed another kid about 10 years old going full tilt on the same castle, knocking kids over, bouncing off the fucking walls like he was trying to escape through them and fully sending it himself without a care. Well, the inevitable happened and Jordan got sent flying. She's a tough little nugget, so no tears, a quick dust off and straight back to having the time of her fucking life. And then it happened again and again and again. At this point, the boy was clearly targeting her, and I thought it was time to step in until Jordan decided to take things into her own little hands. Now, I should say at this point, I don't condone child sport fighting or violence, but what happened next was pretty fucking epic.
Can I just say that's really believable from a lifelong performer of mixed martial arts?
Geordie rolled like a sausage towards said boy until her chubby little body stopped the feet of the kid from moving, at which point she kept rolling, making the kid fall back first to the awaiting blow up landing. Fall back first to the awaiting blow up landing. At this point, she crawled up on top of him and gave him 3 of the fucking best rapid succession jabs to the face. Rolled off like nothing had happened and happily bounced away. Looks like watching all them fights has finally paid off and a proud dad moment had just occurred. And I was that proud dad. Chest puffed, I stood up to see which mum was going to be pissed off and I was going to have to apologise to when the only other man in the place stood up. And this is when my near-death experience started.
Here we go. Please say they're patched.
This guy was fucking massive. At least 6'4", covered in tats and looking like Hulk and Thor had made a bumhole baby love child, and he was the result. The boy ran up to him. Fuck, I thought. He sat the boy down, stood up straight, and locked eyes with me. Fuck, went through my head again.
The lightning bolt.
Then he started walking towards me. This is going to hurt, I thought, as he menacingly got closer, and I held out my hand in an apology and said, sorry about that, mate. He grabbed my hand, and it felt like a combination of a brick and a vice all in one. Fuck me. But my life flashed before my eyes. At which point, he said, fuck off, mate. I've been watching the UFC for years, and that was the best dust-up I've ever seen. Yeah! Well, my anus relaxed so much, I almost shit myself, dancing the 5-cent, 50-cent waltz for what seemed like an eternity. The vigils. He smiled and whispered, little fucking shit needed a good smacking anyway. He'll be right. I wish these joints sold piss and got not this shit coffee.
He's a fucking lad. He's a lad.
As my heart returned to its normal rhythm, he said, actually, I got a couple in the fridge in my ute. Want one? So off to the car park we fucked, sat on his tailgate and knocked down a couple of tubes while Geordie bounced, ran and squealed away and the boy child sat snobbing and bleeding from the nose. Well, I hope this story gives you a little giggle, legends. Keep up the great work. Go long, go hard. And you little fucking beauties. Cheers,
Magic.
Dave.
Cheers, Dave.
That is great stuff.
Great turn of events. Could have been a fucking real bad day for Dave.
Man, they could be best mates for life after that. Like,
Yeah.
that is how you
guys
meet. Yeah, his daughter beat the shit out of my son.
Yeah, the son's getting tattoos at 9. Hard to believe.
Yeah.
This is Jay and Dunc's Not For Radio. Please don't leave bags unattended and collect all possessions at the end. Thank you.
I was telling you just before we went on the show, or did the pod, about the mate of mine who I showed you the picture of.
Oh, yes.
So this is
Do we want to mention what's going on with him? Because if you don't mention his name, we possibly could. Nah, because then you'll know it's him in the story anyway.
Nah, fuck, I'll say it anyway. Let's call him Hansi, because that's his fucking name. So a mate of ours, a shared friend of ours, a mutual friend of ours, Big Ho, because we call him Big Ho, because that's his fucking name as well. He sent me a picture of Hansi and he goes, fuck me, has Hansi aged 70 years since we left school?
He looks like he's been through the face app where you fucking age yourself, the filter.
Yeah, look, that fucking Russian bot one that they used to scan everybody's faces, and everybody unwittingly did that, so they've got everyone's fucking face from across the globe. Anyway, so this bloke is a very good friend of our other friend, Benny Brown, because that's his fucking name. And he is a kayaking Adonis just like Ben. And he sent this picture of himself and another buddy of ours post-roll. The boys are into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and they're just, skinny strong. Have you heard this term, skinny strong?
It's like the wiry old man muscle. It's like stringy ass muscles.
Yeah. So we used to, as an example of how skinny strong he is, we used to drink at this bar called The Office, which was in Mount Maunganui. It's now defunct. I think at the time it might have been owned by like Matua Parkinson and a couple of his brothers or something.
Former AB.
Yeah, and they used to do like $2 doubles on a Thursday night. And so it was just the local bar for everybody. And they used to do the Plastic Surgeons, a couple of guys that used to go down and they'd just fucking spin sort of 80s, 90s hip-hop only vinyl. It was a fucking good time. Anyway, we were down there one night drinking piss, and I don't know, Mutz, because he just likes to drink piss there with his footy mates, had these chin-up bars put in for some fucking big dick off. And this massive fucking Eastern Euro block Dolph Lundgren motherfucker, Duke Nukem, Horace Greeley, Captain Planet, son of a bitch, rolled up and basically was being a bit of a pest, but no one could really fucking bin him out because he was just too big a unit.
Yeah.
And you know when you got more than 3 people on a person in a fight in a bar, the 3 that jump in normally get a fucking hiding because you can't really get anything on. So nobody wanted to boot this dude out, and nobody wanted to jump in and dust him up because it just wasn't going to be in our favour. And so anyway, he gets to the point where he goes, "Rightio, you fucking pussies, put your strongest guy forward in a chin-up competition."
What you also calling out a bunch of people at bar. Rightio, you pussies.
Yeah, but he could because he was fucking ginormous. Like I imagine he would spin around on his toes like Zangief and just fucking knock us all out. Anyway, so
Robo-Lundgren.
There's some pretty big units, Big Ho being one of them. Fucking he's fit as fuck. He could have gone all day on this chin bar as well. So we sent up Hansi, and Hansi would have weighed fucking 45 kilos dripping wet. All dick and ribs, fuck all else.
It's like a greyhound.
Yeah. And so he's like, "Oh, fucking come on, is that the best you've got?" Anyway, so we get them to start up on this thing. Deal was, whoever, like if we lost, our guy lost, we all had to shout him fucking drinks. He'd basically steal our partners like a Viking and fuck off into the night, you know? And so Hansi and him jumped up on the thing, start hanging there, and it's just like, the rules are, you got to get your chin over it. Hansi's got quite a big fucking chin, so come on, mate, that's a bit unfair.
He's hanging over the top like a coat.
Yeah,
he'll be putting
his head through the roof at this stage if he's going all that way up. And they start quite slow. And the guy's like fucking just like peppering Hansi going, "It's okay to give up, man. You can just give up whenever you want, you know. I'm feeling pretty thirsty. I wouldn't mind just start drinking on your guys' tab the whole night." And so the fucking Hansi just stares him straight in the eyes and just starts picking up the pace. And the guy's like, "Oh yeah, fucking we've got a bit of a sprint here, eh? Well, let's see if we can burn this fucker out." And so then he goes double time at Hansi. And Hansi keeps going. And at this stage, they're up to like, without any fucking exaggeration, no JST, no fucking mayo added to this. They're at like fucking 70 or 80 fucking chins at this stage, which is like pretty eye-watering at the best of times. Then it pushes into the 90s, and we're getting close to 100, and then the guy's starting to fade, and so Hansi starts to slow down with him, and so he's like, at this stage, Hansi's just got this guy by the balls. Like if you go slow, it fucking hurts more almost, you know? And so he's just slowing down and just dragging this guy through fucking razor wire with him. And then the guy's like staring at him, just getting fucked off. And he's like, "You've got nothing else." And Hansi just goes, "Fucking do it's one-handed." And just fucking pumps him. Just fucking did another 21-handed just to end this guy. As soon as he got past like 5, the guy just dropped off it and he just stared at him just fucking like a robot, just fucking belting it out. He was so fit. He's like a whitewater kayaker, and so he's just all upper body.
Just a triangle.
Legs,
upside down triangle.
Fucking like a couple of 2-minute noodles that have been left in the bowl too long. But he is just a fucking beast, and he bitched this guy in the most spectacular fashion.
Did he pay for all the drinks?
Who, the guy? Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck yeah. We just rinsed him until we just fucking money ran out. So put your cart on the bar. Well, at this stage, now we're like, well, he's fucked. He can't fight any of us because he's got no arms left. He's been chinning up for
Probably
the last
knock
hour.
out his dick if you're not careful.
Pretty much.
Bet that was big too.
Turns out he's just a big karate kicking bastard. But yeah, it was good. Now,
Warning, this podcast contains swear words and twisted hilarity. If you're offended by this, well, it's not my fucking problem, is it? This is not for radio.
fucking right.
Great yarn.
Yeah.
One of the greats.
He is one of the greats. But now, as a result of doing all those amazing chin-ups, he looks like he's fucking aged 500 years.
It's quite an interesting thing to say to someone that's getting a photo post jiu-jitsu. How well do you know this bloke?
He would crumple us up. I'm sure you've met him. You would have 100% met him before. You would have met him through betting for sure.
So Neil deGrasse Tyson,
Yeah.
one of the great minds, he is sitting down with the dude that played Morpheus in The Matrix. Lee, is that Lawrence Fishburne or something?
It's Lawrence Fishburne, yeah.
Burn, okay. And so Neil deGrasse Tyson reckons he's got the real meaning behind The Matrix and is explaining it essentially to Morpheus.
So first, Neo, that's an anagram of
The one.
the one. You had to dip your head The one.
The one.
You can't non-act that expression of it.
No.
The one.
The one.
So that's the one.
Right.
All right. He's the savior.
Right.
All right. So now watch.
The Christ.
Yeah. Okay. So now watch. Early in the film, he wakes up from his
Right.
And there's someone knocking at the door.
You're 2 hours late. I know.
And apparently he hacked something for them.
Right.
And is about to give them. And so he says, "Wait a minute." And he goes back, rummages through a thing,
Right.
gives him a disc.
Right.
And the guy says,
Hallelujah. You're my savior, man. My own personal Jesus Christ.
"You're my savior. You're my regular Jesus Christ."
Yeah. You're my own personal Jesus Christ.
That's a script line.
That's right there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's right there.
Right there. Okay. But let's not stop there. All right. So we keep going. There's the part where he gets brought into the Nebuchadnezzar for the first time. So he's still wrapped and looking around. And there's Joey Pants.
Yeah, Joey Pants. Yeah.
Pantaleono. And he's there, and he's just looking, and then that character, Cypher, is startled. And he says, "Oh, you scared the bejesus out of me."
Whoa! Neo, you scared the bejesus out of me.
Yeah, that's two.
Okay, so hang on.
That's two, yeah.
Oh, hang on.
Yeah.
Who betrays the group?
Cypher.
Cypher!
Yes.
He betrays.
He's the Judas.
Who? He's Judas.
Yeah, he's the Judas. Yeah.
He's Judas.
Yeah.
After the bejesus was scared out.
Yeah. Yeah.
He doesn't have Jesus in
He
him.
doesn't have Jesus in him.
Okay.
No.
All right. Well, let me keep going.
Keep going.
Okay.
If you can. Because you think you know the movie better than I do. And you might.
I don't know.
You might. Let's go.
Here's the difference.
Let's go.
It's my favorite movie, and you've made 100 movies.
Right.
So, okay. All right. So then, everyone sort of decides that he's the one.
He's the one.
Right. When he's like pulling Trinity up
Oh,
from
yes.
the helicopter
Yeah.
as it comes in.
Yeah.
He is the one.
I told you he is the one.
He is the one.
Do you believe?
Okay. Mary Magdalene, right there.
And who's Morpheus? In the Christ mythology.
I know. I'm trying to.
He's the Baptist.
John the Baptist?
He's John the Baptist.
Oh.
The honor is mine.
Because John the Baptist knows Jesus is coming.
Yes, he knows who he
And
is.
sets everything up.
And he's been looking for him.
And he's been looking for him.
And when he meets him, he goes, "I'm supposed to be baptized by you." So that's who Morpheus is in the Christ mythology.
In the Christ.
Out of it, eh? It's quite nice hearing to Neil on the fly. Listening to him, sorry, on the fly. But yeah, maybe it's just the story of Jesus Christ in Matrix form.
What are the other movies? And this is where you can bring in Big Westy Lee, who is our lover of theatre and stage. What are other
movies and TV?
Yeah.
Anything you can enjoy sitting down, I'm a fan of. Yeah.
What other movies, famous movies like that, have those undercurrents of bigger stories at play? So I reckon I was just thinking then, like Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. Oh no. Boondock Saints.
Yep.
Would be one that would be kind of similar to that because they had that same undercurrent of.
Man, there are so many films that take on, like when I studied film, I learnt that movies, apart from just entertaining us, are often reflections of the times. So the film or the story or the movie Narnia, The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, that's famously a rip, not a rip, but an interpretation of Jesus. Aslan being the big lion who's Jesus who gets killed and then comes back to life 3 days later. If you look at a film, oh God, it's gone. What's the name of that film that I was thinking of?
Because I would almost like I like the ones that almost don't make sense, or they possibly do to other people, like the Darjeeling Limited.
That's a brilliant
Grand
film.
Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yep.
Like those beautiful cinematography in them.
So, oh God, it's absolutely gone. which is a real pain in the ass. Way to bring me in and then fucking have me stitch you up like an absolute. Well, you know all about film, do you, Lee?
Hold that thought. Hold that.
Okay,
Oh,
no, the Dark Knight trilogy.
Yes.
So the Dark Knight trilogy from Christopher Nolan, apart from being one of the best installments of a Batman franchise ever, is all about the state of America at the time. The first film, Batman Begins, massive homeless problem in a lot of the major cities in America. Of course, Bruce Wayne goes down. There's all this homeless stuff. They're talking about upgrading all of these train lines and public transport. The second one, where he gets Morgan Freeman's character to effectively turn every cell phone in Gotham into a listening device so he can pinpoint and triangulate where the Joker is. All about the was it CSIB or something like that, listening into people's phone calls and blah, blah, blah. Then you've got The Dark Knight Rises with Bane, the crash of the stock market, like just everything about films. There's always some sort of undercurrent that's running underneath movies. It's not always just, you know, a bit of bright lights and some flashing explosions and shit like that. There's always something else that filmmakers chuck in. David Fincher, famously in the film Fight Club, is all about consumerism and machoism and not so much hedonism and toxic masculinity, but a lot about consumerism. If you go back and watch Fight Club, there is a Starbucks coffee cup in every single frame of that film.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Those are the cool bits that you point out that you'd normally not ever see.
Yeah.
How's this for a concept? So, you know, when someone an author creates a world, like, for example, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, whatever, and quite often they'll create this world over multiple books, might be, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 books, whatever. And so this world, the concept of that world they came up with in their head, so therefore they create everything within it. But then also, like we were talking about, there's different ways to interpret it. So this dude, I stumbled across this book on the local library app, and it was just so happened to be the last in all of the ones that he had done in the lead up to it. It's called the Legends of the Werewolf Hunter who's it by? Matthew Bauer, I think his name is. Anyway, so what he decided he wanted to do after writing all these books, he said he reached out to all of his favourite authors. And there was one character within the series of books that he'd written that featured in all of them but hadn't had a lot of backstory. You could kind of piece together bits and pieces. So then he got like 12 different authors to write short stories on parts of how they perceive that main character that people didn't really know much about. And they ended up being a common theme all the way through it. So then he ordered it, and so it was written in slightly different styles, all about the same character that had been in all of his 12 books. So they interpreted the world in a different way. I was like, fuck, that's a gnarly concept. And he was like, this might be the hugest flop ever. I don't think anybody had ever done anything like that. And so he sent it out to all of his favourite authors, and every single one of them said yes and then wrote for it. And
Whack it.
I think in total like 7 hours of audiobook or whatever. But I was like, fuck, that's a cool concept.
I love that interpretation piece, particularly as I've gotten older and spend more time with mates that are actually, like you had a mate that did art at school. Mm-hmm. And then, I don't know, they probably would have ended up eventually working in a video store and then moving into drugs and then jail. These guys that I've been hanging out with,
Sweeping generalisation.
These guys that are dear friends of mine are proper fucking make really good money artists, and not only on like a commercial level. Rob Tucker, it's like these are the fucking names that you should go and check out if you want to invest in New Zealand art. Rob Tucker is one. Laurie Steer is another who Dunc has become a massive fan of.
Oh my fucking god! I'm bringing up Laurie Steer at the fucking beach. Absolutely.
So this is straight across the road from my parents' house because he lives next to my mum and dad. So these Laurie Steer, Rob Tucker, and then Andrew J. Steele are probably the three, probably foremost artists that I know that are making really, really, really good money because they are great artists and they're
also so sick that they got to be true to themselves as an artist and then be successful as well. Normally those two things don't go hand in hand.
Nah, and so Rob, as an example, he gets flown to be put up in like fucking castles all around the world and then does residencies where he paints for like a month and then leaves a piece of art as payment for staying there. So he gets all of his shit covered.
He would have done a shit. I mean, this is...
It was shed in a castle.
Yeah, and the ones that come off the side of it.
Oh, he hasn't done one of those. I asked him about that.
Oh, okay.
They're all refurbed in real flash.
Okay.
He does really, really cool stuff. Andrew Steele's a Mercedes ambassador, fucking drives around in all these brand new cars doing crazy ass shit and drawing all over their fucking super expensive cars. And then we've got Laurie Steer, who's the world's greatest potter. And in amongst making some of the most iconic ceramic work that there is to be made, makes videos like this.
And so this is, he's taken a day off to go to the beach while everyone else is at work, and he's wearing this real shit hat. And fucking hell, he just goes on. You can't script this shit.
No, and he's unscripted.
He's unscripted, just freestyles it.
It's pretty tough, all right, being me. Actually, one of the real struggles I have is this hat, which incidentally is named Sophie. It's actually got a very slight sparkle to it. It's a lovely hat, but the problem with it, the only problem with it, is that it's actually almost sand-coloured. And so when you're lying in the sand making a sand angel, as I have recently been doing, is that you have to be really careful of dogs. And I've kind of got the whole beach to myself because, unlike many of you losers, I don't actually have a job that means I have to be in the fixed office during work days. I have the entire beach to myself, whereas you fools only have it on the weekends where you have to share it with everybody else. But anyway, enough about you. So anyway, back to my big problem is I have to watch out for the dogs all the time, sneaking up behind me through the sand dunes, and they'll race down and just piss on my head while I'm asleep or in a meditative pose. You know, so a big part of being a potter or an artist is reflective practice. It's really important to carve out some time in your day just to let your thoughts settle and let that beach wisdom permeate. I've just been absolutely drenched by a labradoodle. It's disgusting. I'm absolutely covered in dog piss. And in my eye too. My hat's ruined. My day's fucked. So yeah, everything I said about reflective beach wisdom, flag it to stay at home. It's not safe. Every fucking dog in the world's out here trying to piss on your head every time you're trying to do a bit of meditative practice.
Can we listen to another one? Like, it's just... He's
one of the greats.
Somebody stole his van. Fuck, should I try and bring that one up? Fuck, he said some, maybe it was a written one. Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
There's really no.
He wrote it.
R.I.P. Lloyd, my beloved pottery van. 10 years of faithful service, beachside park-ups and cozy sleeping. He was stolen last night and savaged for parts by some shitbag arseholes. I found him today, defiled, discarded in the sand dunes, busted up, missing half of his doors, lights, and electrics. I put the key in and he started up first pop because that's the kind of fucking van Lloyd is. He drove himself to the wreckers with his head held high and me sobbing at the wheel. See you later, Lloyd. You were the fucking best. On a more cheerful note, the hapless fools who wrecked him also stole a 5 kg bag of fine white powder from the boot. No doubt they'll soon be smoking it. It's by silicate cocksuckers. Enjoy the ride. Lead is a traditional base used in old-style glazes, and it's crazy poisonous. Fuck, he's just so good.
He's like a pure reflection of... so his brother's an ornithologist, so just knows everything there is to know about birds. And his dad's like a council stalwart who looks like the Monopoly man. Like, they're fucking amazing. He had this... Sorry, just another story about Laurie. So he builds massive installation pieces as well as big resin works he does in pottery. He's been making up for it. Wallace Award winner, fuck, he's the best. Lecturer, you name it. He started lecturing at a university so he could start up a ukulele band with a massive transgender lead singer in it, like, just to do shit. He does stuff because it entertains him. Like, he just finds entertainment in the world. So he made this at a forestry site not far from where we live, up in the hills towards Summerhill Golf Course. There's a big forestry block that had been felled, and he asked the farmer if he could go in there and do an installation where he'd basically do a controlled burn off, building a hut and then building a funeral pyre, and then on the top of the funeral pyre he put the mattress of his grandmother in the bed in which she died. So this was like kind of you built like this, the symbolism behind this whole thing is that you spend your whole life growing things to only be felled, and then at the end of it you're just fucking burnt away and turned into ash, whatever it was. And so I went up to see him when he was doing this thing. There was a farmer leaning over the fence going, what the fuck is going on here? And I was like, I don't know, because you had to hop over the fence and walk down to see him on the site. And I got down, when I was walking down there, he's like, is that your fucking mate? He's not fucking well. And I was like, oh, I'm aware of that. Anyway, so when I got down there, I said to him, that you freaked the fuck out of that farmer. Like, he was full peaking, like, couldn't understand what was going on, and he was fucking heavy breathing, like, holy fuck, holy fuck, holy fuck. I was like, what happened? And he goes, so I built this fucking big, like, old school fire, like with these logs. So you stack them, you know, it basically goes up into a big square.
Yeah.
Your classic fucking Boy Scout funeral pie fire thing. But this thing's now like, I don't know, 7 or 8 meters high on a fucking, like a cliffside. And so Laurie thought it would be, for whatever reason, it'd be kind of funny to get up there and just see the view from atop of his funeral pyre, sitting on the mattress in which his grandmother died upon. And so as he sat up there, it started to wobble a bit. And so he was like, oh, fuck. And so he grabbed onto the sides of the mattress. And so he was like, fuck. And he's like, I'm too high. So then he started lying down. He's lying down and he's fucking just going side to side. And he goes, And he goes, and then I was uncontrollably laughing while crying for about half an hour. And then he looked behind him. And there's this fucking farmer like Ches and Dale with a fucking piece of hay in his mouth, leaning over the fence going, fucking, that bloke's not fucking 100, is he? But a fucking queer looking rooster. And so when I turned up, he'd only just stopped shaking, laughing and crying, and managed to climb down. But he was like, holy fuck, I've done some shit. And that was one of the biggest rushes of my life. Yeah, and then you set the whole thing on fire.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Love it. I love how other people's brains operate when they just are just completely against the grain, eh?
Yeah, he has one of the highest used apps in New Zealand, if not the highest used app, other than like fucking Tinder and that.
News websites.
Yeah. And he did it just to get it massive corporations. Like, that's what he founded it upon, was to fuck with them. And now he consults to those corporations under an alias, and they meet him face to face and don't even know his real name.
Long live the world's best potter.
Yeah, aka El Cordales.
Holy fuck, what that? It's Not Go with Jay and Dunc.
Now, speaking of brains, as I was just before, I'm going to play this next bit. It's by my mate Wayno. I think I've talked about Wayno on the podcast, have I? With
Possibly. Oh, yes, you...
I'm not sure I have. Anyway,
blues.
I've got a mate that's been diagnosed with brain cancer, and it's just a good reminder, like, fuck, he's just such... Yes, I have talked about Wayne before on the podcast.
Yes.
I remember I was telling some silly stories about him leaning out his parents' car and him, the bloke wrapping around the power pole.
That's right. Take it for a spin, mate. Fucking sweet buff. Didn't come back with that.
Outside the cop shop, wrapped around a power pole. But he's done many other great things in his life. But he's just... I wanted to play this piece of audio because it just goes... Like, we've all got problems. Like, fuck, life's tough sometimes. And then you have a look at fucking Wayno. He's down at the local rugby club in Australia. They're doing a video on him, and he would have fucking hated being on the end of the video. Like, he's very charismatic, but that's not his jam. And then you just have a listen to how old Wayno's dealing with the fucking cards he's been dealt of late. You're just like, man, it makes all of your problems that you think are big just seem really small.
My name's Wayne Lancaster. I've lived in Central Coast for 10 years and been a part of Evoca as a coach and a player for the last 7. I got diagnosed in late October, early November with a brain tumour. It's pretty serious, so within 6 weeks of finding out, I was getting operated on in Nepean Hospital in Penrith. It's a grade 2 brain tumour, and we've started radiation now. There's a 6 weeks process. I'm 3 weeks in, and after that I have a month off, and I do 6 to 12 months of chemotherapy after that. Physically, I'm fine. I still try and get a good run in every morning. Still good with the kids, feel fresh, feel alive, still smiling. Mentally, I'm probably okay as well. I feel like everyone around me has been pretty good. So yes, it was huge. It was huge. It really was massive. As I said, I thought there would be 50 to 100 people there. There was, I think, 150 to 200 towards the end. It was a big day. It was pretty overwhelming towards the end, and seeing the support. Especially just the community. You know, rugby's part of the community. As I said before, community's part of the rugby. It's all one thing. and to have all those people see and to know pretty much everyone there, see all the faces and know them all, which means it's a really tight knit community as well, which I quite like. But yeah, the overall thing was pretty overwhelming to us. Just everyone really. It's pretty hard to name one person. Like the things driving me to hospital each day, taking me to the appointments. Big one, obviously my wife. She's been huge. She's been my rock. Without her, it would be a lot tougher. But yeah, everyone, even as he's put some money and helped out, even in one trip to the hospital, one trip, just doing little things to help. You might think you're doing nothing, but I appreciate every little bit of it. It's fantastic. Ooh, highlights. A couple come to mind. Playing 100 games, 100 grade games was huge. And then other ones probably mainly coaching as well, coaching my kid since he was under 6. He's playing under 11s this year, so that's another 6 or 7 years of coaching as well. So seeing them grow, not just him, but the whole team as well, is huge. Yeah, I want to. As long as I stay fit and healthy and don't get too sick, I'll continue to manage and even come and train with the seniors. Maybe no head contact, but we'll do some training and keep coaching the boy as long as I can. Yeah, GoFundMe is good. As I said, I've only got 3 weeks left of driving to the hospital. The chemotherapy part of the process is in Gosford, so it's just up the road. But yeah, the GoFundMe has been huge. It's been massive. The money raised, I think we put 10,000. I think it's at 40 now, which is incredible. I've already actually got the electric bike, which is great. I've ridden it a few times. Thank you again to everyone for pitching in. It's fantastic.
That's impressive, eh? What a lad, and what a great what an awesome part of Australia. Avoca and Copa beaches are just two of the coolest spots, man. They're fucking awesome. We took a team, like our surf team from Tauranga Boys there, and it was so sick.
Oh, he loves it up there. Like,
mate,
he's got such a nice family and stuff.
Yeah.
And obviously, not everyone is in the position to be able to give cash, or maybe you've got your charity or whatever. But even if you can give $1 or whatever, we're going to chuck the link in the show notes, because Wayne is literally just one of life's great humans. And then when that sort of happens, your life goes on fucking pause, but your mortgage payments still need to go out. And I'm not 100% sure, but I think he's an Australian citizen, which will entitle him to way more care than if you're a Kiwi.
Mate,
they don't look after us.
All.
Yeah, you get nothing if you're a Kiwi over there.
And
but he's been there that long. He should be.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's Wayne. Good chance to just take stock of how important the problems you have in your life are, and bit of a leveler. But anyway, so he's getting through his treatment at the moment, and he's still firing up on the boys' chat and stuff. So, which is nice.
Fuck that, eh?
Yeah, and he's fucking
large number of people.
42.
Yeah, 42, man. That's basically when about fucking a third of the population get rust.
Yeah,
which is pretty wild. So 1 in 3, eh?
Is
get
it?
1 in 3 get some type of cancer post 40. Men. That's
it's just classic. It's not going to happen to me.
Yeah.
I mean, in some ways, like, there's no point worrying about it until it does come across your table, because that serves absolutely no purpose whatsoever.
We are doing this. We'll have it in tomorrow's podcast. I'll put a link to it and we'll play a clip of it. It's a guy who used to predict people's length of life for life insurance companies to see how they would short them to make the most money out of their things.
Some gig.
Yeah, and it was like he could see that he could tell if there were different courses of action that these people could take, because he could determine life to like the month.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was it pretty accurate?
Yeah, pretty much spot on. Yeah. Basically, this algorithm worked it out on this testing that they would do, biometric testing, which would then show, obviously you can't. Someone walks out in front of a fucking bus and gets smoked, or hops on a motorbike and gets toast. Like that, you can't really predict that. Well, you can probably predict something on a bike, but for the most part, it was health related, which would then determine your cause of death. Because he said, asphyxiation. He said,
Quick, go.
All deaths from asphyxiation at the end of the day.
Oh, you stop breathing, of course.
Yeah.
Pull up your socks, grab your cocks. Time for Not For Radio, boys.
Not For Radio.
Just weary of how long we've been. Like, I feel like we've got plenty to get through. But hey, there's another podcast on Thursday. Would you, Jay? Throw this one at you.
Hit me.
This is the ultimate payday. You get $10 million deposited into your bank account instantly, but every time you spend it, a random person somewhere else in the world drops dead. You won't know who, and it could be anyone. are you taking the money?
$10 million? Nah, not enough.
Well, how much is enough? Well, fuck.
What, it'd be fucking smacking somebody else every time you spend it.
Technically, if you had an addiction to $1 mixtures, you could wipe out 10 million people.
Twice the population of New Zealand smacked because you like fucking Fijoas and tangy peaches.
Yeah, now I'm with you.
Yeah.
That's an easy one to sign off on.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. But there is a number.
Because people are dying anyway, it'll just be in the mix there.
And wonder if it expedited. If you were to say, if somebody was to have a year left in their life or less, you just basically chewed that last year. That's and you just fucking took them out.
I chatted to somebody today whose mum just did assisted dying.
Oh, really? Kiwi?
Yeah. She was older, like her body had pretty much given up, but her mind was good, so she made that decision like quite a long time ago. And it's only been legal in New Zealand for the last few years. And
I would 100% take that option.
Oh, man. The fact that you get to sit there, your life is not going to get any better if you're in a certain situation like this chick was. So you're going downhill and you're well aware of it. And then you get to sit in, a room in palliative care with your family. You have all those conversations that you always wanted to have with them. You sit there, you listen to your like, this is what happened. They did all this. Favorite music and watch movies together and said goodbyes. And then, after a million checks. So they go, there's like a doctor that is there from start to finish. And then I think along the way, there's 6 different professionals, and they could be multiples of doctors, like psychiatrists, that don't know each other, that just present their case after doing their assessment. And if all of them line up, then you can do it. Like, it's a real rigmarole. But
And what is the cost involved, and where does that money go? Because I can't imagine it's cost fuck all. I can imagine that it would be rather expensive.
I would assume that's on the taxpayer, wouldn't you?
Don't know.
Because
once again,
surely if you we
should see if they'd be keen to have a chat.
Yeah, she's got. I'll give her a bit of a rest because she's going through a whole bunch of lawyer stuff at the moment.
Yeah, or learn. Yeah, see if you can learn as much about it as you can, because it's sort of one of those things. Like, assisted means that you have.
It's your choice.
You've made the choice, but that also falls under the category of suicide as well.
So you've got to have less than 6 months left. Is the rule. That's what got across the line in New Zealand.
Hell.
So you
but
can't.
6 months is.
And all those checks and balances.
You might be shit for fucking 4 or 5 years. My nana, when she was fit as fuck, like I'm telling you, she was a mother to 6 kids, ran the farm with my grandfather, and would walk 8Ks a day on average. And then one Christmas, she had a fall, broke her hip as a part of it. Because she'd fucking binned it down some stairs, and from that point on, she just fucking went downhill. Then was peg fed and couldn't swallow and was bedridden and all the rest of it. And every time I'd go and see her and give her a hug, she's like, "Jay boy, just kill me." And I was like,
"Put the pillow over."
I was like, "I fucking can't do that." And she's like, "Well, I'm done. Like, I've done everything. I've done everything I want to do. I've met all you grandkids. I've met my great grandkids. Just fuck, I'm done."
It gets to that point. When it's different if you're not aware.
Yeah,
because
that's
she was everyone else's problem, not yours.
And her normal, and I mean, obviously, people have horrendous accidents and take them. She's like, "This is not. I'm not living, and I just know that this is not. I don't fucking want this."
Yeah.
And she was conscious in that decision. So then eventually just deteriorated, probably over the space of 5 or 6 years, to the point where she just withered away and then passed away. And
What a shit way to go.
Exactly. She's like, I fucking knew this was going to happen.
I told you.
Fucking ages ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Whew.
Just like it was on the back of that headstone. Where she's buried, there's a headstone probably 2, plots down from her. And it says on the back of it, and this is a woman who is part of a very famous New Zealand racing family, a horse racing family. On the back of it, it says, "I fucking told you I was sick."
F-bomb as well.
Oh, no, not the F-bomb. Yeah, I told you I was sick.
Yeah, that's great.
This is Dingle from South East London, and you're listening to Not For Radio with Jay and Dunc, and these fuckers operate in that sweet spot of Max Chicken's rogueness.
Yeah, we do.
Max Chooks.
Share an episode with a mate. It helps us get the word out there. And once again, you were on YouTube, and the other bit that we mentioned at the start of the podcast as well. You can purchase our Not For Radio sunglasses. They're out now. There's a link in the show notes.
Yes.
Click on it. They're newfound sunglasses, $199 Kiwi.
Yes.
We'll send them out to you ASAP.
27 pairs left. Yeah, I was told 27 pairs left.
All right.
We've been quite remiss without putting them up because they basically just landed. So they landed yesterday. The
They
ones
haven't even done a post on the Sniper's Nightmare or the
No,
on the
no,
Not
no.
For Radio page.
No, so they just, for those people that pre-ordered them, they'll be getting sent out now. You should have them by the end of the week, I would say, depending on where you are in the world. And our ones will turn up today so that we can do a bit of a video with them and go fucking huzzah.
Get the last ones.
And then you can have a crack at the last ones. And then we basically see what the appetite is to go again.
See, you could do. I'm just thinking of spitballing here. Dunk by day, Jay by night, and you could do some of those weird coloured lenses ones like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas for your ones.
I love
I know
glasses,
you love those.
yeah.
Yeah, you're a fucking big fan.
Yeah,
big fucking
I
fan.
like these ones here that we're running. These are newfounds as well, and they
go good.
They're the Lunas, and I'd love to do a clear lens swap out of these and a yellow lens too because they're awesome for riding. No cavitation in behind the eyes.
Yeah, okay. Well, on
But
that
we shall
note,
see.
have a fucking ripping rest of your Tuesday. Remind your mates that we're on Android or are on Android that you can climb into these Sniper Elite episodes just by subscribing. That's your way of supporting us. We appreciate everyone that has. Obviously, these are going out to everyone at the moment because the back end of Apple is fucked. I have been told though, not this. Well, yeah, some people listen on Spotify. Someone put up a post earlier today. I'm just going to drag it up now. On the Sniper's Nightmare page saying...
Fuck you, motherfuckers.
If you listen internationally and you're on Apple and you're currently listening to this on Spotify, you can cancel your subscription and then resubscribe and then you'll get all the back catalogue on Apple and it'll just carry on working normally, apparently.
Really?
Who was it? It was Rudy Tamati. Hey, with Apple, I've found that if you cancel your subscription, then resubscribe to it. It works. I've done this. I've got all the episodes. Hope this helps. And they're coming in every day. Yeah.
Fuck around.
What was that noise we made yesterday? Hey, have a fucking ripping rest of your day. That's been another real fun edition of Not For Radio, and we appreciate you for choosing us.